Good afternoon, and we need to talk about something that has really set Nigerian social media on fire. Sheikh Gumi, the prominent Islamic cleric who never shies away from controversial statements, has once again stirred the pot with a declaration that has left many Nigerians divided right down the middle. The cleric has come out boldly to say that herdsmen are going nowhere, that they are part of us and we are part of them, insisting that Nigerians must learn to live together and should never become enemies with them. What makes this even more explosive is that Sheikh Gumi reportedly made these remarks while commenting on recent American military action in Nigeria, specifically airstrikes authorized by President Donald Trump targeting Islamic State militants on Nigerian soil. Let us get into the facts of what actually happened, because this is not speculation or rumor. The United States military conducted airstrikes in northeastern Nigeria, specifically targeting Islamic State fighters in the region. According to the Associated Press, President Trump personally authorized these strikes, which the Pentagon confirmed were aimed at Islamic State West Africa Province militants. The operation reportedly killed several militants and destroyed weapon stockpiles that had been used in attacks against both Nigerian forces and civilian populations. This marks a significant escalation in American military involvement in Nigeria's counter-terrorism effort, and it represents one of the most direct forms of American military action on Nigerian soil in recent memory. Now, Sheikh Gumi has positioned himself over the years as someone who advocates strongly for dialogue over military solutions when it comes to banditry and insurgency in northern Nigeria. He has traveled into forests to meet with armed groups, and he has consistently argued that many of those involved in criminal activities, particularly Fulani herdsmen who have turned to banditry, are victims of marginalization who can be rehabilitated. His latest statement about herdsmen being part of us and going nowhere is completely consistent with his long-held position, but the timing of saying this while condemning Trump's airstrikes against Islamic State terrorists has raised serious questions. Many Nigerians have responded with anger and disbelief at Sheikh Gumi's characterization. People from communities that have been devastated by herdsmen attacks, people who have lost family members, who have been driven from their ancestral lands, who have watched their villages burned to the ground, are asking how anyone can tell them to just accept and live peacefully with those who have caused such tremendous suffering. If you are finding this breakdown helpful and want to stay informed about major Nigerian news stories, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel, because your support really helps us continue bringing you these detailed analyses. On the other side of this debate, there are those who argue that Sheikh Gumi is speaking an uncomfortable truth. These supporters point out that the Fulani are not foreigners, they are Nigerians who have lived in these lands for centuries, and that painting all herdsmen with the same brush as criminals is both inaccurate and dangerous. They argue that the root causes include climate change that has pushed herders southward, population growth that has increased competition for resources, and the proliferation of weapons that has turned what used to be manageable disputes into deadly confrontations. The Trump airstrikes add a completely different dimension because they involve foreign military intervention on Nigerian soil. For many Nigerians, particularly those with nationalistic sentiments, any foreign military operation raises questions of sovereignty and whether Nigeria is truly independent if American forces can strike targets within its borders. Sheikh Gumi's condemnation of these strikes reflects his belief that military force, whether applied by Nigeria or by foreign powers, is ultimately counterproductive, and that dialogue and addressing root causes are the real solutions. However, critics ask a very pointed question. What exactly should be done about Islamic State militants who are actively killing people and have shown zero interest in dialogue? The Islamic State ideology is fundamentally different from the grievances of herdsmen because it is rooted in an extremist interpretation that seeks to overthrow governments through violence. Many believe that while dialogue may be appropriate for bandits motivated by economic desperation, it is naive and dangerous to apply the same approach to ideologically committed terrorists. What we are witnessing is really a clash of different philosophies about how to address Nigeria's complex security challenges. Sheikh Gumi represents dialogue and reconciliation, while the opposing view emphasizes justice, accountability, and the belief that some actors are simply too dangerous to be reasoned with. This debate touches on fundamental questions about Nigerian identity and how we define citizenship and belonging, and it is not going away anytime soon.